Welcome to Lay Lake TV. I'm your host, Donnalee Blankenship, and we're out exploring the towns and communities that make up the Lay Lake area. We want to get to know the businesses and the communities that make this such a special place. Today, we're in Columbiana, and I want to check out this local wine shop called Just a Tish. Let's go explore. We're here with Kelly and Christy and Corley, the Ellis siblings at Just a Tish, a cozy little wine shop in Columbiana. And I want to know, whose idea was this?
Well, I guess originally it was my idea. I think back in 2019 is when I decided, why I decided, I don't know, but it's when I decided I wanted to have a wine shop. I tell people now, if I'd known then how little I knew about wine, I would have never done it. But I was determined to do it, and so in 2020, May 1st of 2020, I opened Just a Tish Wine and More at 113, our previous location.
So right in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes.
You opened in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was crazy because, bars and restaurants shut down immediately
Sure.
in May. And so we couldn't serve wine. We could only sell it retail, which was fine. It was fun. Learned a lot. Interesting times.
So was that?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just going to say a lot of people were at home and looking for something to do, and
A lot of people were drinking
Yeah,
wine.
a lot of people were drinking
I'm
wine.
just saying.
And actually, because they couldn't go to a restaurant and have a glass of wine, they bought wine to take home to have with dinner at home. So it was really a good time for retail wine sales.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Did that actually help you or hurt you because you were learning about wine and it was a time when people were buying wine? It seems like opening in the pandemic actually might have been a good thing.
It was a good thing. It really was. So the first year or so, our numbers grew. And then we actually, after about 21, we had a little bit of a slump. So people got back into their regular routine, and not a slump, I shouldn't say that, but sales dropped off just a little bit.
Yeah.
So they were really good during the pandemic.
Wow, that's so interesting. Now, how did you rope these two into working with you?
I don't know. Did they rope me in, or did I rope?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So seriously, what happened? Because they're real estate agents,
Right.
they came to me when this piece of property became open. This way I remember it. I don't know. It may not be.
You jump in. If
This
you
is the
gotta
way
go.
I
Right.
remember it.
I need to
And-
defend
and
myself.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was scared to death. I was like, there's no way I can go from this cute little 1,000 square foot little shop. She called it her baby.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
It was my baby. To this, we tripled size. I mean, it was
Oh, yeah.
like
It's
3,000
huge.
square foot. I was like, there's no way. And so they proposed, why don't we buy in with you into the wine business? As a family, we bought the building, and then as a family, we went into the wine business together. So they came in with me
Right.
in last year, 23.
Yeah.
So we have the real estate offices in the back and the wine shop in the front. It's kind of a reverse mullet.
Yes.
Business,
Got it.
business in the back and
Party-
party in the
party in
front.
front.
I like that.
Yeah.
So Ellis Properties, that's your
Yes.
real estate business. Now, so being in real estate, this building has a rich history. What,
Oh, wow.
I mean, this building was built when, do you know?
20s?
1920s?
That sounds right.
I took notes. We sat down and talked with Stancil and took notes because he's a history buff,
Right.
And so I took a lot of notes, but then as I age, my memory fails. It's written down somewhere, but we would like to know more of the history. We'd like to know what was in this building and for how long,
Right,
I would
right.
love a timeline. So if anybody out there knows
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And the
history.
history of this building.
We
but-
do know that this was not part of the original town block, from what we understand. This building wasn't here, and this kind of made the end of it. This was kind of the square, and then they added this part on, and so it wasn't here originally with the rest of the main street.
Came a little bit later. Yeah, I
We
know
are, we're still having people come in and tell us what they remembered as a child and things. And so we're still learning the history and writing it down. So it's fun though. It's been a fun building.
It's a fabulous location. I know it was a Napa store, it was a florist, it was an eye doctor, now it's a wine shop.
Yeah, there's been a baby.
There's a Model A
yeah,
dealership
yeah.
and assembly plant.
Maybe that was the original.
think
A
Model A.
Ford,
Yeah, think so.
assembly and dealership.
Oh, wow.
So is what we were told.
they used to assemble them.
That's
Had
They,
a
crazy.
they were
dealership.
shipped here in a crate.
That's crazy.
And then when they built the car, there were directions to turn the box into the floorboard. You cut the. We actually also understand that someone has those, has a copy of the original directions on how you turn the floor. Put it together, turn the floorboard the crate into the floorboard of the car, and we would love to have a copy of that.
All right, so if you have any history information about
Bring it
this,
to us.
Bring it.
And it's
Bring
funny
it.
to hear people argue about it. Somebody will say, "Oh, I think it was this," and then somebody will say, "No, it wasn't that." Because one time I put it out on Facebook.
Right.
What's been here, and it was funny hearing the banter back and forth between people on what has been in this building. So,
Wow.
and a lot of things I don't even remember, and I should. It was during our,
Your
growing-
childhood, yeah. So you grew up here. You guys grew up in Columbiana. Your parents grew up here. Your great grandparents.
Yeah, grandparents.
How far back does
great-grandparents.
it go? How far, I mean, y'all have
Great
strong
grandparents
Great
lived.
grandparents.
Yeah, great grandparents would be as far back as it goes.
Levin Handy Ellis.
Yeah. But
They
the
moved
roots run
from-
deep.
ties. The roots run
Yeah,
deep.
yeah.
I have
They
my
were- they moved
our
from
cemetery
Physical.
plots are already picked out.
Really?
Yeah, so
Good
we're
job.
I said our cemetery plots are picked out, so we're not going
Yeah,
We're not going.
yeah,
Born,
same.
raised, and
Yep. Born.
last days
all of it.
here.
Yeah.
So you said your great-great-grandfather was lieutenant governor?
Great grandfather.
Yeah, great
Not
grandfather.
Handy
Levin
Ellis.
Handy.
Handy
Yeah.
Ellis.
He was a judge here in Shelby County
And mayor.
and mayor
Mayor.
for a
Columbiana.
while, and then was lieutenant governor and ran for governor and almost won. Was
Almost.
predicted to win and lost.
Actually, there's the over at the
Oh,
museum.
yeah.
Yeah, there's the top floor has history on Levin Handy Ellis. Yeah, our great grandfather.
Wow. So family, obviously, very important. Community, very important. How does that play out here? How? I mean, obviously, you're working together, and family's very involved. Your mom, I see her here sometimes.
Well, if we didn't have the love for this community, I mean, it is a labor of love, and the
Yeah.
love is our family, for sure,
Yeah.
and the community. I mean, we would have never made the move. It was when we sat down to talk about it, we we're like, this is going to be so great for Columbiana, and we all just have this, I mean, history with Columbiana and love for the people here and the community, and
It's a community spot. It really
it
is.
is.
And it's funny, you were asking about opening. I had several people tell me this is not going to work in Columbiana.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I didn't know. But it's working. It's working because it's a place for people to gather and have fun and talk and relax and
Yeah.
it's fun.
So you host events here. You do. What kind of things do you do in this space?
We drink wine.
Yeah. Obvious. Yes.
But we do try to have community events, and we've had some people come in and have little birthday gatherings and retirement gatherings, and I'm moving to a new job gathering, and it's not really so much an event space because we're a retail space, so it's really kind of hard to have true events, but we welcome people to come in and first come first serve, grab
Sure.
the sofas or grab 2 tables or whatever. And some days are busier than others, and some days that's possible, and some days it's not. But we do a lot of that kind of stuff. We have had some wine dinners and things like that after hours, and that's good for the community to get together too. It's a lot of fun and educational, and there's always something to learn about wine. You can never know it all.
So, what you full service wine? Like you can get any kind of wine here. What do you specialize
Sure.
in? What do you carry?
Everything. Well, not everything,
Sure.
obviously, but everything we can. So we have wines from New World, which are California, Oregon, Washington State, Australia, Argentina. We have whites and reds from all those countries. Then we have Old World wines like Italy and France and Spain and Portugal, and we have a few Greek wines, and what else? Am I missing something? I think I got it all. But we also love to, if you come in and say, hey, can you get this? And you show me a picture of it. We love to look up and I love finding wines for people. Now, not all wines are distributed in Alabama.
Right.
And so if not, we can't get them. We buy from our distributors. And so sometimes that limits us.
Local wineries. That's one
Local.
maybe you didn't
Yeah.
mention.
So
We do
who
have some.
are some of the local wineries you work with?
We had Lewis Lakes wines. We've got a Corbin wine. We have Morgan Creek out of Harpersville.
You're the wine specialist.
And one thing we're doing every week, we're painstakingly tasting wines for the community to bring new wines in.
You
Yes.
are sacrificing
Absolutely.
and making that happen.
Every
I
week.
love
It's
that.
a tough job.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you do wine tastings where people can come in.
Oh,
When
that's
do
a
you do
huge
that?
event that
Yeah.
we do. Yeah, I didn't mention that. Yeah.
So how does that work?
We do them usually on Wednesdays. Originally at the old shop, we were doing them on Tuesdays. Then we switched to Wednesdays. We've done one on Friday night. It kind of gets crazy in here on Friday night. It's kind of busy. We've done some on Saturdays.
I would say follow us on our social media, which we're on Facebook and Instagram, because I do lives. I try to do lives every Friday, and then sometimes in between. And I also, if anybody's got events, I love to make me a list of things on the lake or in Wilsonville, things that are going on. And I always try to mention those in my live too, because I don't want to it's not just, it's community.
Right.
And so it's the things that, people around here might want to do, whether it's in Shelby at the Ironworks and the Pancake, so whatever, if you've got events, I love to list them in my
send
Facebook.
those to Christy.
Yeah.
I've watched several of those, and you do a great job of just saying this is going on here, and so's raising money for this, and this is happening Friday night. Don't forget our wine tasting, and so it's a very community minded thing. I really enjoy
Thank you.
your little live. So
Yeah.
that's fun. All right.
One thing that's been fun to me that I want to mention, because we keep talking about community and family, and obviously our family is very important to us and always has been. We're insanely close, and I can't imagine doing this with anybody other than these two here. But the community, what's been so fun to me is I've met people here that now are like family to me. They come in on a regular basis. We have a lot of fun. You're glad to see them when they show up. And so the community has really rallied around this, and it's become a very cool social thing on weeknights and weekends for people to gather. So it's been a lot of fun. But there's people that I did not meet until they walked through these doors that are like family to me now, and that's in a short year.
And we meet new people every single day. And since this is Lay Lake, I want to say this. Lay Lake has been a huge supporter of ours. The lake community, it's just phenomenal. Now we've met, like Corley said, we've met people from Chelsea, Calera, Montevallo. I don't want to miss anybody. Clanton. We have a lot of people that come in from outlying areas.
Right.
But Lay Lake has been huge. I mean, they are really good supporters.
Columbiana's kind of on the path.
You go right
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
Columbiana to get to Lay Lake.
But they'll
That's
come
right.
on Friday nights, if they're down on the lake, a group of them will, come in and, some that didn't know each other before and, meet, and then they do stuff outside of just a Tish too. They go places and meet at people's homes and play games and
Of course,
that kind of thing.
we grew up on Lay Lake,
Yeah.
running up and down the lake. Learned to ski at Lacusa, where I learned to ski. I'm not sure where you guys. Y'all learned before me.
all up and down.
Lacusa is where I learned to ski, and so we got very fond memories. Still have a place we go just a pier, but we still go down and hang out and boat on Lay Lake.
Yeah.
So it's home to us too. That's home too.
Cool. Now, do you have any funny memories? Anything stands out? Any
Oh.
interesting stories from Lay Lake?
Legal things.
Legal
Does it have to be
things that you
things
can
that were
tell.
legal?
What are the statute of limitations on
exactly.
certain
It's
things?
funny this morning when I was getting ready, I thought about a funny situation. When I was in high school, we were building our little cabin that's still there but totally renovated. Doesn't even look like the same cabin. And I thought it was going to be cool on a Friday night or Saturday night to take my buddies down, and we drove down and went to the house. Well, the neighbor called the police on us. So we got the law. I don't think we were doing anything wrong. I really don't, other than being there and not
That's how she remembers
That's
it.
how I remember it.
And not telling the parents.
And
so
yeah, the parents didn't know. Yeah, I'm sure the neighbor called the parents. They're like, no, nobody should be there. And yeah,
I'll tell this story. So, and I won't name names. I'll keep names. The innocent protected here. But we used to like to go on nighttime pontoon boat rides all the time. And so I was notorious for it. 9 or 10 o'clock, let's go for a ride. And of course, the Lay Lake community will know. We called it the Rock. Now that I think they call it Paint Rock. But we'd take a ride to the Rock from Shelby Shores. It's a pretty long ride when you're doing about 4 miles an hour, but that's as fast as we'd go. The boat would go fast, we're in no hurry. And so we take off and we ride to Paint Rock and do whatever we do, and then we're headed back, and there's a light in the sky, and so all of us friends are arguing about what city is that. Is that Chillisburg? Is that Sylacauga? And there's an argument ensuing about what city that is. It got brighter and brighter, and then all of a sudden the sun popped up, and it was the sunrise. We'd been out all night long, and we were coming home. And that's how we realized it wasn't a city when the sun popped up.
Wow.
So,
How old were you?
I was of legal age.
Yeah.
I really don't know. It's
Things
college.
on the up and up.
It was college days anyway. So yeah.
Fun.
I tell you, favorite memories, there's all those memories that come when you talk about Lay Lake and growing up on Lay Lake. but and Kelly talked about building our cabin, which has been renovated. We don't own it anymore, but the memories, and I'm sure Corley, I would think you would remember this, but we used to, before we built, we had that property, but we didn't have a pier. We would drive, I don't even know what Mother was driving then, but she'd open up the trunk and we would, it was the best, it was simple, and it was the best memories, cooking hot dogs. We just thought we just loved it. I don't even think we had a pier. Maybe we did.
I don't think so.
But I
When
think
we
just
started,
jumped
we
in
did.
the water. But it was so simple, but we would go and we'd spend the whole day there, you know, just swimming in the murky, muddy, because I don't think we had
And that was
a
probably
pier.
in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a,
I barely remember, so it was in the 70s, late 70s probably, when we did that. But no, that's my fondest memory
Yeah.
because the simplicity of it.
it was
It was a mini
Cooking hot
vacation.
dogs
back
and
then.
that's kind of what you do now with the
Yeah.
pier that we have. I mean, kind of back to the
Yeah.
simple things,
Yeah.
you know.
Those are the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, speaking of simple, the name Just a Tish. Tell me about the name Just a Tish, because that is just
So the funny thing is before this idea, I had a room in my basement that was my imaginary wine cellar.
okay.
She
And
still has it, by the
I
way.
still have it.
Yeah.
My husband says, no, you have your wine cellar now. This is never going to become a wine cellar. But I always thought I would put over the door Just a Tish, because our grandmother, when she was like in her 90s, if you asked her if she wanted a glass of wine, she would say Just a Tish. Of course, Daddy would pour Just a Tish, and then he would go to the refrigerator and add some water to it. So it was really watered down.
Right.
She was, you know,
She was proper.
yes, but Just a Tish. So that was Teeny is what we call her now, but our grandmother, that's Daddy's mother. But she taught school here, taught fourth grade.
Yeah, she probably taught a lot of people how to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she taught a lot of locals. She taught elementary school, and she would say Just a Tish. So that's where the name.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's just so sweet. I love, and it ties in with family, and I love that. And here's my next question: favorite wine? What's your favorite wine? Do you have one? Can you Can you
Gosh.
pick one?
Let's open up. Let's get a bunch out and open
Yeah.
up. Let's
Let's have
see.
a wine taste.
Yeah. So
You like reds?
yeah, but I like rosé and
I go through phases.
Yeah.
I'm in a Sauvignon Blanc phase.
Right now.
I kind of do a thing, and I've talked to other people that do the same thing. I tend toward a white in the hot months because I want something cold. So Chardonnay, I like an oaky, buttery Chardonnay. But I've also learned, because my palate is developing, because when we first started, I did not like a soft blanc at all, and now I'm kind of getting fond of it. So I'm kind of a seasonal. I like red wine right now.
it's my newest favorite of the week, kind of.
Okay.
So like a distributor will come in.
So whatever
and-
we're drinking.
yeah, whatever's, yeah.
That's my favorite.
So I like most all wine, most all.
Okay. That's interesting. Well, I guess if you have the wine shop, it's gonna
Yeah.
work like that. You know.
Yeah.
Some better than others.
And I'll tell you, Kelly does a great job too, because a lot of people get intimidated by coming in a wine shop, and then once they're in here, they're like, okay, they don't feel intimidated by it once they get in, because she does a great job starting where you are. Do you like sweet? Do you like, okay, if you like sweet, we have something for you. And then and those customers will keep coming back in, and you'll see their palates start changing too.
Right.
Okay, that's a little too sweet for me. What's the next
Yeah.
step? So she's really good, and this is not a stuffy place. It's a very
not.
relaxed.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
relaxed.
It's
Well,
very relaxed.
in what she's talking about, and the reason is because, but let me be honest, I'm intimidated to go into a coffee shop because I drink black coffee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't know what to order.
I don't know what to order or how to order it. And so I kind of treat it that way when
Yeah.
people come in, because I do want them to feel welcome, because we are not snobby. We're not,
It's not stuffy.
And there's all price points.
yeah,
As
true.
expensive as you want to be. Yeah, they're connoisseurs. I'm a consumer of wine.
Yeah,
I say.
got it.
I like all wines, and so I'm normally on the lower end.
You're a bottom shelf kind of guy.
Bottom shelf kind of guy. But there's every level
Yeah.
of wine that you want. So and I think that's one thing people are surprised too, that we've got very
Yeah.
reasonable wines. We got
And
the
you're
real
good
nice
at
ones.
pairing too, because I know we wanted a good steak wine, and you recommended a wine. And when we were eating our steak, we were like, "This wine is phenomenal." We tried it with something else, like it does not go with that.
Right.
It goes with
So,
steak.
I love
That was
wine
at the
pairing.
old shop, and I remember that, and I was like, Oh my goodness. Because I mean, I can pair a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, our cousin Linda, that also works with us some and hangs out with us a lot, she's really good at pairing. Really, really good at pairing. I remember y'all asking me, you wanted something for a steak
Yeah.
and you wanted something for a burger.
Yeah.
And I gave y'all one of each. And when y'all told me those worked really well, I was like, I was so nervous
I mean, it was
because that
spot
was
on.
early on. That was way early on.
And
Like
that's
I said,
amazing to me about wine, that the pairings is amazing.
I know, because if you taste it,
Yeah.
you know, like the wine dinner that we did the other night, I had tasted those wines before and I was like, yeah, they're good. But when they were paired with the correct food, it was
Yeah.
like, oh my
Yeah.
word, it makes such a difference.
yeah, I was nervous. I remember that. I remember y'all asking me.
Nervous about us.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that goes back to if I'd known
Would you?
then what I didn't know, I
Yeah.
would have never done it. And
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
I remember when y'all came in. I remember that so well,
is
and
so
that's
funny.
been probably 3 years ago.
Well, we still talk about it.
Yeah.
It's really good. Okay, what is your favorite part of this store? What do you enjoy the most? Is it the sofas and the old yearbooks? Is it the wine tasting or being behind the bar? Do you like the things, the little,
I like the patio.
you like the patio?
It's
Why?
just so inviting, so relaxing, and on a day like today, it's the place to be. It's just so much fun to hang
We
out.
have people that come and plug up their computers because we have plugs out there, and we have
Yep.
some inside too. But the best office in the world, sitting out there, just
People buy their lunches and come sit here, or then come and sit inside, so you can buy lunch.
Yeah.
We encourage people to bring your food in, sit with us, have a glass
Well,
of
it's
wine.
right in the heart of town. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
great.
perfect location.
It's great.
My
Right.
favorite part are the vinyls that people
Yeah.
choose themselves and play. Even some people bring their favorite album in and I'll put it on.
So you've got an old
Yes,
record
old
player.
collection. Yes, the record players
Okay.
knew the albums are old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just people have brought them
People,
in. I mean,
yeah, people bring them in.
I mean,
So,
they're pretty much the community's albums. I mean, they really
That's
are.
pretty neat. And I know you've got all the yearbooks, or a lot of yearbooks.
I did that at the other shop, and we really don't have we have them here. They're
Yeah.
here, and I pull them out. I mean, I had a girl come in and found out she went to Shelby County High School, and I didn't know her. She was younger than me, and I went back there, and I literally had more than one for that year. And I hope I don't get upset and cry. I mean, not upset, but emotional.
Yeah.
I had an extra one, so I said to her, well, and I said she could have it because she didn't have her yearbook. She didn't have her yearbook from the year she graduated. And she got emotional, and she was so thankful. She said, I don't know what my mother did with my yearbook. And it's gone. So well, you can have this one.
Sweet.
So, yeah, so we still have those, and that's fun. I got that idea from another establishment that had yearbooks out. And,
Now, is that your favorite? What's your favorite part of the store? What do you love about this place?
I love the building.
Yeah.
I love being here with my brother and sister. I really love it when they're here. My favorite part's selling wine. I mean, that's my favorite part. But now, Christy told you her favorite part was the album. What she does really, really well is she mixes up drinks with wine or with, wine that we can sell or sake, things like that. But she's a mixologist.
There you
She's,
go.
she's the bartender.
Well, I know you've got
I'll
the Main
pour a glass
Street
of wine.
squeeze. You've got the Main Street squeeze.
we have a Main Street Mule, and we have added a Main Street Mary. We had Bloody Marys this weekend, and several people said it was the best Bloody Mary they've ever had. So,
And I want to change the name of the mimosa to the Main Street Mimosa.
I like
Because
that.
we need the Main Street line.
So on Saturdays, you do grits and mimosas.
Some Saturdays.
Some Saturdays. So how does
again,
that work?
follow us on social media.
Yeah.
That's all we talk about it. But
I did them for a while. Back at the old shop, I was doing them every single Saturday, but they're done in a slow cooker, and you have to get here really early in the mornings. And Fridays are big nights for us.
Yeah.
That's our busiest night, and especially during the summer. I was like, I
So it's
can't.
more of a special occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About once a month. We're trying to do grits once a month. We do mimosas anytime. You can have a mimosa during the week, but
Yeah.
especially on Saturdays. We do mimosas every Saturday.
And you use the McEwen grits from
Yes.
McEwen grits from Wilsonville. Mhm.
Yeah, good deal. And so you carry the McEwen grits. You carry lots of local products. Tell me about that.
well, we do carry a lot of local products, and again, getting back to family. Matter of fact, we carry some Blankenship pottery. Yes, we do. But getting back to family, my mom does all the, well, not all the glasswork, but most of the glasswork that we have in here. She makes a lot of them out of recycled wine bottles. And
A lot of our serving.
yeah, our serving plates
plates.
she made, which is pretty amazing that she, does that and still involved in that kind of thing. And as far as I'm trying to think, what other
Your
local-
aunt does
Yes,
pottery?
yes,
Yeah.
Sylvia,
Pottery.
pottery, and we have a lot of we're trying to get a lot of Alabama things. We've got Raven's Nest, Mullen spices and jams and jellies. That's from Alabama. We've got Alabama peanuts.
Yep, from Dothan.
From Dothan.
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle.
Popcorn.
Oh, my
Yeah.
word. Golden Eagle.
That's worth stopping by for.
Yeah.
Somebody picked up.
Yeah, the caramel corn. So it's not the Golden Eagle syrup.
Yeah.
They make a Golden Eagle caramel type
Yeah.
popcorn. Oh my word.
It's
So
so
good.
good.
And not that we sell it, but if you come by on a Friday, you might get to taste my dad's sourdough bread, because he takes off from his job, still working, and he takes off on Fridays to bake. So usually Friday afternoons and Saturdays, we'll have some of his fresh
And
sourdough
it's kind of
bread.
become known with
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
regulars that if they sneak by here on Friday afternoon,
They might
they'll
get some of
some
Butch's
warm
bread.
bread
So
with
take
butter.
note of that.
Yeah, right. Get here early. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Lay Lake TV. Who is somebody in the community that has a connection to Lay Lake that's interesting, or somebody that we should interview? Who from Lay Lake? Let be anybody. Who's an interesting character?
Oh, there's a lot of interesting
Yeah.
characters.
Characters. I'm just trying to think on Lay Lake.
Interesting
Yeah.
characters that will not embarrass us. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Who could that be? I don't know.
Somebody give me the dirt on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I like, and a name doesn't come to mind, but I like interviewing what I call old timers, because when that generation's gone, if you hadn't captured that,
Yeah.
it's gone, and so that's where my mind goes.
One thing, and I don't know how this would work, but the different areas of Lay Lake, like, and y'all probably have already thought about that, but Beeswax, Okemo, Lacusa,
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna hit them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paradise Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paradise Point's a good one.
In my mind, I'm going like along the lake, and I'm trying to think of people that are still there that were there when we were younger.
The 4-H Center, oh my gosh,
Oh,
is
yeah.
an amazing place.
great-
Yeah.
It is so
Resource,
underutilized.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Such a great resource for the community.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a specific name. I'll have to think on that and see if we can come up with.
Well, there's so many new people
Yeah.
on Lay Lake. It's just
It's
unbelievable.
growing.
Yeah.
It's growing. It's a neat place.
People will come in and you can watch the transition. They start out, they live in North Shelby or Birmingham, and they have a place on the lake. And
Yeah.
and then
Frequency
before you
picks
know it,
up. Yeah.
then they're living on the lake.
Yeah.
So they started out coming to the lake, and now they're living
Such a
on the
nice
lake. Yeah.
place. Oh, it's just so beautiful there. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking.
Thank you.
Thank you for
for letting us get to know you and get a peek in here what all you're doing.
fun.
It's pretty exciting. So you guys come out to Just a Tish and just take part in community and enjoy what they've got here.
And have a Tish of wine.
Have a Tish. Just a
Right.
Tish. Just a Tish.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed our visit with our friends at Just a Tish in Columbiana. Be sure and follow us on Facebook and our streaming channels, and we'll see you around Lay Lake.